Don't sing, Sam. Do not sing. We're live. Evening, folks. Thanks very much for coming in. Welcome to the start of yet another exciting week of lives, and we're kicking off this week with our good friend Charlotte Underwood. I was going to say old friend, but then she's not very old, so just say good friend. And our partner in crime for the first time I'm meeting him, Liam Rowley. I hope I'm saying this right. Rowley, is that right? Rowley.
Thank you.
Liam's here as well, folks. So, for those of you, as I say, this is the first time I met Liam. So, Liam is Charlotte's teammate, I do believe. We're going to start off what we usually do. Thanks for coming in, Charlotte and Liam, by the way. And Sam's here as well, as you probably noticed, next to me, as always. The lovely Sam. So, as we always interrogate our guests, Liam, given the third degree. So, how did it all start off for you with the paranormal and the world? What first got you into it?
When I was a kid, I saw several things when I was a kid. Was always interested in it, but then I had a family and stuff, so it sort of went by the wayside for a bit. And then when I hit 40, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to do something that I want to do for me. I want to get involved and actually become part of a team. So that's I think it was about 38 actually. It's about 7 years ago that I got into it, and initially it was from a very I developed this very skeptical view, and then over a period of about 18 months, I discovered that actually there was a lot out there, and I could pick up on stuff.
Good.
And then I met Charlotte and joined her team, and I've sort of my sensitivity has developed since then.
It has indeed.
It's actually quite. I like kind of where I'm at, because when I'm at a venue or a private residence, it's there, but I can leave it and go, and it doesn't. I live my normal life outside of it, if you know what I mean. I'm quite comfortable.
It doesn't affect your day-to-day living, basically, so you can turn it on and off in a sense.
Yeah. So I'm quite happy with it. It suits me where I'm at the moment.
I was going to ask you how it affects your day-to-day life, but I forgot to unmute myself. I just realised that. So you went ahead then. Off to a high start here, folks. As always, I just joined Mr. Cat, Wayne, and I think Sarah's watching. Well, she better be watching. She's doing research for Darkest Mile, so that's why she's not here. That's why I get landed with Sam. But such is life. Such is life. So, how did you and Charlotte hook up? I don't mean hook up. I mean, Well, we'll get together.
We both met at, have you heard of the Mermaid? The Mermaid Inn in Rye in East Sussex.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's it's one of the most haunted places in Sussex. In Rye, it's years and years and years, hundreds of years old, and we were both there for. They only do one ghost event a year, because they shut the hotel down for a week to do maintenance, and during that week they let people do an event, and we were on the same event together, and that's kind of where we just connected. It was a very active evening, but I think we just fed off of each other. I started to visualize stuff and get stuff through, and I think that was the first night I was sat in a chair up in one of the rooms. We were calling out, and the other guests that were there said Liam's face is completely changed, and he looks like somebody completely different, and I was unaware. I was completely unaware that it had happened, but apparently I changed into this very stern-looking, angry man. Sat in the chair, and it sort of led on to us discovering investigation that there was some children there that should be seen and not heard, according to this gentleman that had decided to take over my body at the time. So it was an education for me, but it was also, we just connected because Charlotte pulled me out of it.
No, the mermaid that I have heard there. Charlotte, is that not the one we're meeting you at?
Yes, that's the one that you're coming to with us in January of next year.
That's how I knew I'd heard it. So I'm going to put you on the spot, Charlotte, for a change. You know, big spotlight. No. I'm not going to ask you to sing. You've already done that. It was lovely, by the way. It was lovely.
Thanks.
I think that's a good save there. What was your first impressions of Liam when you seen him? I need to ask you. Hi, Ronald.
Hi, Ron. Yeah, I found Liam's approach was really professional, actually, because you do find some people on investigations can be quite unprofessional or quite immature, and Liam's approach was totally different, and that sparked my attention straight away. And then I could obviously, because of what I do, I can see in people what ability they may have or would be able to move forward with, and I could see that Liam had ability as a sensitive, and more. You know, and I just thought, yeah, because obviously I'm a talkative person, Liam's a talkative person, so we just got chatting, didn't we? You know, and we just had that connection, you know, that connectivity there, and we had that mutual love for what we were doing with the paranormal, you know, and yeah, we had a lot. We did have a lot. We did that night, you know, and it was fun at times, but it was the whole, you know, that his professional way of doing things just really struck home with me, and I just thought, I like this guy. He's a good guy, you know.
Am I right in saying you've got quite a strong bond together?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, people have called me a sensitive. As I say in many lies, I don't tag myself as anything. You know, I can't. Sometimes I will pick up and stuff. Sometimes I won't. It's totally random. But I'm getting there's quite a strong bond between you two. Yeah.
Well, Liam's very good. So when I do my transfiguration mediumship, it's Liam that's there to obviously, as Liam was just explaining with what happened with him. Liam's the one that sees me through it, you know, and he is the one that I trust them. I trust him with my life. He knows that, you know, and we've always had that mutual respect, and yeah, we've always got on from the word go, basically.
It's like that. Sometimes you just meet somebody and you just kind of instantly click. You know, you've never met them before in your life, and you just meet them face to face, and it just, you know, you can't explain it, but you're just kind of drawn to this person for no particular reason.
That's when it happened when I came along.
With who? With us?
With you?
Yeah. Bless her. Well,
Are you trying to say, Sam, that I'm drawn to you unexplainably? Inexplicably? Yes. Right. Okay. We'll just agree with that one. Keep her happy, bless her. You know. Keep her happy. So, Liam, tell us about the Staple Theatre.
Aha, yes. It's an interesting one, the Stables, because I've performed there 4 or 5 times, and there's stuff, but you're in sort of performance mode, so you don't think about it. But a friend of mine is a film director and playwright, and he wanted to interview me for his radio show that he does. So we decided we'd go to the Stables and do the interview there, so I could just talk through some of the history of the place. And he sort of turned up with a camera crew and sound guy, and I was like, well, I thought we were just having a quick chat, but he wanted to walk around the place and see some of the hot spots, so to speak. So we did. We went into a couple of the rooms, and they experienced shadows, dark figure in one of the rooms. The clothes that were on the hangers started moving on their own and things like that. And then we went upstairs into another room that's upstairs. It's freezing cold, and I didn't have any equipment with me because I didn't expect to be doing it. But there was a big mirror there, so I was talking to him about mirror work and EMF meters and how they work and how we communicate. And he asked me to start calling out. He said, "What do you do? Can you show me what you do?" So I began calling out. I was aware because I'd done an event there previously, about 3 weeks previous, and I was aware there was a female spirit there. So I called out and asked if they'd communicate with us. And whilst we were in the room, the cameraman had his camera on, but he didn't have it on night vision mode. He didn't know it had night vision mode, which was funny. But a candlestick flew off the shelf, and they obviously went completely wild. And we shook the shelf unit to see if it was loose. Anything was loose, and it was all solid, no problems at all. And I think it freaked him out a little bit, so we kind of finished up the interview and left. But we found an audio file on the cam. When they went through the footage a couple of days later, they called me in because they've got this audio file, and we slowed it down and listened to it, and it sounded very much like three voices, each of the voices saying "get out." So it was, but as I said to him, it's interpretation. So the director decided he wanted to do a pilot TV show, because there's lots of TV shows out, paranormal TV shows out there, but he wanted to do a pilot, or he wants to do a pilot from a point of view of, is it paranormal, rather than it is paranormal. He wanted to do one and say, this is what we found, what do you think? Yeah. And bring members of the public in to see what they experience and interview them. So we set that up for Friday, and we did it this Friday, and it was very much a night of two halves. The first half, there was movement on, we caught on camera. The clothes started moving on their own again. There was a lot of dust in the place because it's an old building, but then as well as dust, we did get some definitive orb movement. It was around the movement of the clothes as well. It shot towards the clothes, and the clothes moved. So that was kind of interesting. But we got a lot, and 5 guests saw a figure walk across the top of the auditorium. I wasn't there to see that, and neither was the cameraman, unfortunately. No, we haven't reviewed that footage yet. I think we had a roaming cameraman that might have caught it. But the second half of the night for me was the big part of the night. I went to this one room that we'd got so much from, and I did an EMF calling out session there, and I connected with spirit. And it was after I'd asked, I was aware that I knew that there was a child spirit the other side of the theatre, and I felt that it was her daughter. So I said, I sort of asked her, I said, "You want to go over and be with your daughter, because she's she's all the way over there. I'll come down and we'll talk. We'll continue the conversation in the auditorium, in the stage area." And it was just after I said that it was reported they're seeing this woman walking across the top of the auditorium towards where I'd asked her to go, which was interesting. But then we were back up into that room with a spirit box, EMF meter, and Iovulus, and there was 12 packed in there, and there was a very negative spirit, not evil at all. It was a negative spirit that was looking at us from behind the door, and I was searching, trying to get a name, and eventually I got a name, and it became apparent that this guy, this male spirit, was bullying the little girl. So the little girl stayed the other side of the theatre because this guy patrolled the back of the theatre and stayed there. And he was bullying her. And when this sort of stuff happens, I sometimes I can get really emotional, and I did get really emotional because I was angry and that he was doing it, but I was also sad for the little girl. So I called him out and basically told him to back off and stop the bullying, or I was gonna, or I'd come back, and I'd come back with friends, and we'd see to him. It was a yeah. I never usually like that, but this guy, this spirit really pushed my buttons, and I opened the door to confront the spirit, and loads of stuff come down the fire escape above. As I opened the door, there was like a whoosh, and all of this stuff come down the fire escape, like it had gone up into the attic. And then we moved to the auditorium, and the little girl come and spoke to us for about 40 minutes. Oh, it was amazing. We had the spirit box going, and we had the EMF, 2 EMF meters, and she would take them up to yellow. They were blipping on the greens, and I'd ask a question, and then I'd ask her to take it up to yellow if it was yes, and just like that she did. And we had this long conversation, and then we realized it was 4:15. So I sort of said, I'm really sorry, but it's our time to go now. Thank you very much for talking to us. Is it okay if we leave now? And I said, if you take it up to yellow for yes, then we'll know. And she did. She took it up to yellow. And just as a cheeky request, and we had like 12 people sitting in the auditorium watching all this, and a cameraman. And just as a cheeky request, I asked her if she would say goodbye. And within 3 seconds of me saying that, the spirit box threw out goodbye in a female voice. Oh, and it was absolutely amazing. And we've got it on camera. So there's a lot of people talking about it since it happened, because it changed a lot of people's points of view. I think people don't understand the process of a spirit box and an EMF meter. They just think they're gimmicks. But I proved there on Friday that they're not gimmicks. We can't make the lights change on command. The only way you can do it is by affecting it with electromagnetic field, or by speaking to spirit. So yeah, no, it blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. It was amazing. Although I did have to clear all the rooms of all the tech because nobody would go back into the theatre.
Oh wow! How old was the little girl?
She was 6.
Oh bless her.
Yeah.
And what era was she from? Was she from like a particular era, or? Yeah,
it was the 1800s, late 1800s. Oh, and where the theatre was, it was a stable. It was stables attached to another building at the time, and this is really, really sad. But she was mown down by a horse and cart in the road outside, and the mother, Mary Elizabeth, I got her name. The mother was so distraught that she hung herself from the rafters in the theatre. Wow. And they are now together, but they're happy. They're happy together. And now that I've had the confrontation with Samuel, the male spirit, they were. I couldn't believe it. Just 45 minutes, she was just there talking to us. So it shows how intimidated and scared of that spirit she was.
Person she was. It's crazy, isn't it? You must have a good energy, and you must be obviously quite open for a spirit like the little girl to come to you, because even in the spirit world, children can be very untrusting. So there's obviously some sort of connection there for the child to come to you in that manner and to speak to you and be secure enough to talk to you in that sense.
I think you're right, absolutely 100% right. But I think I don't know what it is. If I go to a friend's house and there's five or six parents, sets of parents there, but there's children in the house, you'll find me sat playing snakes and ladders with the kids, because
That's me.
They're just attracted to me, and they're like, he's going to be a bit of fun. Let's play hide and seek and stuff like that. So
yeah, I get that 100%. I get that. Old people and children. That's who seem to flock to me.
But I found it in both life and in whenever Charlotte and I do an investigation. It's not every time, but there's been several times there's a child spirit that just seems to attach itself to me and seems comfortable to talk to me. It's lovely. You
must have a young soul
that they trust.
You must have a young soul.
Yeah, young soul.
I try to.
That's really a really good story. I mean, the bullying bit is very similar to, I don't know if you've heard of the Blair Street Vaults in Edinburgh. There's a character, shall we say, Mr. Boots. He's quite well known. And there's also a wee girl reported to be in there. And it's a very similar story. She tends to stay away from this guy. This guy, Mr. Boots, was a kind of caretaker in the vaults when they were occupied. But, he wasn't the nicest person on earth. And this wee girl tends to stay away from him. But, I mean, the story, Liam, to me, that's a good thing. There's two sides of the paranormal. So I don't know if you agree with this, but, I mean, paranormal investigating, obviously, try to prove the existence of life after death. But on the other side, that it's also an opportunity to try and help spirits, maybe stuck, maybe alone, that wee girl maybe lost, looking for her mum. It's also a chance to where you can, help them, cross over or just reunite them or give them that wee bit of comfort that there is somebody they can talk to, because as I've always said, to me, we're the same in death as we are in life. The only thing is we don't have a physical body.
That's it.
And, so
it's so important to have a medium within a paranormal team because they are the ones who are the bridge between spirit world and people, living people. And they can get more information than any tech can, and it's just that the tech supports the information that they get. And Liam, by the way, while you were talking about Mary Elizabeth, all I kept hearing the whole time you were talking was little Lizzie all the time for the little girl.
It was amazing. It really was. It really was. That I think the thing that really the people that were in the room, they all mentioned it. They because we interviewed them afterwards, and they all talked about how emotional I got because I'm really quite kind of relaxed and happy. And
you're an empath, my love, empath.
Yeah. And I did. It just I was my lip was going. I was angry, but also really sad at the same time. And my voice broke whilst I was challenging Mr. Samuel. But yeah, it's for me it was so worthwhile because I know that they're together and they're happy, and the spirit of Samuel. Well, I'm there quite often down the stable, so I imagine that he will heed the warning because I go there at least twice a month. I'm in the stables theatre, so.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
do you feel drawn to them?
Sorry.
Do you feel drawn to that particular place? Is there a pool there, or?
No, I don't. Prior to this, prior to the first investigation, which was with a bunch of friends, that wanted. They were kicking around the idea of a pilot, but it didn't really go anywhere. But I sat with them, and they literally were hanging on to me all night. They wouldn't let me go anywhere because they were afraid. And that energy that they're giving off, I think it was a preventative from communication. Although I did get some communication through Spirit Box on the stage, and it was Mary Elizabeth screaming, crying out for her baby, and it stuck with me right through until we went back there on Friday, and when I was there, they showed me what had happened, and it was horrific. I was trying to explain it to one of the crew, and they said, "How do you know this stuff? What do you hear? We can't hear it. You don't. When in these circumstances, you don't. You just see. You get an image in your head, and you hear inside your head the name or certain things, certain words that are put into your head. But the images come through there." I said, I don't know how to explain it other than that. But I know that it's real, because whenever this happens, when Charlotte and I are together doing events or investigations, private investigations, I'll be sat there completely, just listening and watching the EMF meter. Then suddenly a name will flash through my head, and it's a name that doesn't associate with me. Like Samuel, for instance, I was digging so hard trying to find a name, and there was nothing. It was just almost like white noise in my head. I couldn't get a name, and when I challenged him, he let it go, and it came into my head, and gotcha. Now I know what your name is. Now I can address you personally and tell you to leave them alone. And it's but I think there's a lot of fallout from it. We've been talking today, and last night there was a lot of talk on our group chat about what everybody experienced and what they're going to see on the cameras and on the audio and stuff like that. And I had to say to them, look, you've got nothing to be scared of. This when you go into this, you're asking for communication, and then when they communicate, you thank them and continue with the communication. But whatever you do, don't scream and run away, because that's not what we're for. But I think
that's a very strong point, because we've experienced it with people coming in who are very scared. I mean, we've done umpteen investigations, private and with the public, and for me personally, when people do that, it also allows any negative energy that may be there to become a lot stronger, because the fear is what it feeds off, so I say to people, if you're that scared, don't come. Don't go on an investigation if you are truly fearful, because you would get nothing from it, because it shuts them down totally. And they're that fearful. They'll look at something and go, oh, I've just seen something. Oh, I've just seen something. No, they haven't. It's just their brain that's going, oh, they're scared, and it's so important, that it's, for me, we don't do, it's not a business. You guys do the paranormal investigation. It's not a business. It's a love of ours, and that's why we do it. And for me, I as you guys know, I just love the history and trying to help spirit if I can. You can't always help them, because sometimes they don't want to be helped. They want to stay where they are. So it's so important to look at it from all different avenues. But I think irregardless of the fact that it's not a business, it's for a lot of people it's a hobby. You've got to actually look at the fact that lots of different people come on these investigations wanting to experience something. They may not do that night, but don't give them something that's fake. Keep it true, keep it to the truth, keep it, and it's, Liam knows me. He knows I'll go on all day about this. He knows how strongly I feel about it, and it's so important. You've got to still be professional.
Definitely. And if you don't get anything, then put your hands up and say, look, I'll get nothing. I'm not picking up something. I think it's really important, because it shows people that you're honest. You tell them, well, you came here, it cost you X amount to get here, but I've got nothing for you. And, instead of making up, some daft story, there's a man here, etc., etc. So you're totally bang on, and seriously, that's why I love doing what we're doing, to be in a position to let the spirits be heard and be able to offer that help where needed.
100%.
Ron's got a question for you.
Yes. That's why Liam's laughing here, because he knows how much stuff comes to me. I am like this. I have a Belisha beacon over my head going, children, come here. Yeah, kids love me. And to be fair, I think, yes, obviously I do have children, which helps. But I just have, wherever I go, I can be out shopping and a child will come up to me and tug on my trousers or will just absolutely give me that stare. Not a death stare, as I call it, but they give me that stare and they will not break eye contact with me. You know, so you just know that there is, wherever I can't, it just happens wherever I go. Children are there, you know, in spirit and on the earth plane, you know, and I love the fact that, but they'll also at the same time, when children are attracted to you from spirit world, it says a lot about you as a person as well.
Yeah.
100%, because children won't come to somebody they don't feel comfortable with, they don't, you know, don't feel as kind. You know, they're very good, as they are on the earth plane. Children, as they say, children don't lie, and children are good judges of character. So you know,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, Liam, just get back to what you were saying. You can't explain it. You know, when it happens, it happens. You know, like seeing things, it's like, you know, up here. I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's happened to me quite a few times, and it's happened to me a lot with photographs. There's a girl in Wales that, you know, she puts up photographs, and one particular photograph she put up, it was just the side of a building. She never puts the location on it or nothing. She just puts up the photograph, and it was, you know, 2 stories. It was ruins anyway. It was ruins she was showing, and I says to her straight away, says, "Did you pick up the woman standing up in the window? She's very downtown Abbey looking, with the hair all pulled back. She's staring straight down her nose at you, very serious." And she mailed me straight back, and we've actually got her on the live talking about this. She says that, you know, that's freaky, because she's got a friend who's a medium, and the medium was there that day, and that's the exact same thing she said that day. She says, "Now I know you and this medium have never ever spoke, but the both of you gave the exact same description. Same window, same thing. I described her hair." Says the exact same way her hair was pulled back in a bun. And people says to me, "How did you know that?" I said, "I don't know. You know, it's like looking at 2 photographs. One photograph, it's an empty window. Another photograph, there's a woman in it. You know, it really is kind of hard to explain. And it's happened to me a few times, and you can't explain it. And you never know when it's going to happen. I think that's the other good thing, is, you know, as you say, Charlotte, you know, it happens randomly. You can't, there's no on and off switch to it. And it can happen in the most unlikely places. I mean, 2 weeks ago, Sarah and I went through Greyfriars, last week we went through Greyfriars, and we were lucky enough to get a tour of the Covenanters prison for Jamie Kistorton, who runs Greyfriars. Now, the Covenanters prison is one of the most haunted locations in the world. There's over 3,000 reported attacks in that part of the Kirkyard. And so we were in there, and I think everybody would expect it to feel kind of, you know, terrifying and negative, but it was totally calm. It was a nice atmosphere, just walking up and down. He put me inside the Black Mausoleum where all these attacks have happened. And I was standing in the Black Mausoleum, and I never felt anything. But then you can look at a photograph in the house and feel something right away. You know, so it really is totally random. But I love that story, Liam, about the theatre and the child.
It's really blown me away. It's the fact that it's actually probably the first one that I've done without Charlotte as well. So we always do everything together, but she unfortunately she couldn't make it to this one. So it was the first one I've done on my own, but it was I wasn't expecting anything really. I tried to explain it to everybody. You can't guarantee anything. And if you do see something, then you might see something that other people think is just normal. You know, different people, it's all very subjective. So the most important thing I said to him was, whichever room you're in, listen, because 90% of what we get is audio. You want to listen. So ask a question and give them time to answer, and listen to what the answer is. And that answer can come in any way, shape or form, but you can't guarantee anything. And then when we got that, I was just, wow. And I felt amazing having left and helped them. That was the highlight of the night for me, to come away knowing that I'd helped. It'd be good to see the footage. It'd be good to see. It'll be fantastic to watch. I think there's about 72 hours because we had so many cameras.
Oh, so, wow.
In about 6
Maybe not.
Yeah,
the best bits.
I just want to say hello to John as well. I just saw that comment you put up. Bless him.
John, he's just joined us. He's our news victim, shall we say? I was going to say recruit, but he's our news victim. He came on board. We're actually doing a live with him tomorrow night. I can meet John live. We're going to bring him on. I'll ask him his bank details again. Somebody will see. Somebody will do it.
We'll get them one day. We'll get them one day.
I don't care if the bank account's empty. I just want somebody to give in. Do you know what I mean? But no, John's our latest victim. We're on the team, so we're getting bigger. I think we're up to 15 bodies now. Excuse the so John, I mean, we've just done a series on Forgotten Pendle, right? And as you know, we're meeting up with Charlotte in July when we go down, and yourself. What's your whole thing about the Pendle witches? Your whole kind of take on it? Or have I just put you on the spot?
Wait, hold on.
He's talking to you, Liam.
Oh, you are? Sorry. I think it was one of John.
John did it?
You did say sorry. John.
I thought it was me for a minute. I thought, hello, hold on. It's code word.
Liam.
Yes.
John. Sorry, John. Sorry, Liam. I'll just go away.
I'm really excited to go. I think with these things, it's about personal experience, isn't it? Because there's been so much documented, so many programs, so many groups have been there, and we've seen many programs about it. It's about experiencing it for yourself, because then what you're getting is an honest experience, and you'll know what's there and what's not there. It is the pinnacle for a lot of people. When you talk about it, everybody's like, oh, I want to go there. I want to go there. That's an amazing place to go. I'd love to go there. And there's still lots of places I want to go to. But that, when Charlotte mentioned it, I was just like, yeah, I'm booking the day off. In fact, I'll book 3 off. I don't mind. It's,
I must admit, from a teenager, I think, if not younger, I've always been obsessed with the likes of Pendle and things like that. And see, obviously, when I joined the group, it's like, oh yes, we're going to Pendle. I can't wait. It's just this pure buzz, the fact that we're going to Pendle.
Yeah.
Yeah, my view's so different to you guys, because obviously I grew up there. So, I spent a lot of time in and around Sabden and Clitheroe and Whalley, and the Pendle area, and it was my life for a long time, and it used to be that I'd see these shows, and let's use the very famous show that we all know of, that did a very special event there over a weekend. And they were filming it, and I could see Spirit that the medium wasn't picking up on, that was right behind him, going like this on his shoulder, trying to get his attention, and I saw so much through those lives that things that weren't picked up on, and that was watching it through a TV myself, you know. But I love that place. I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
So, I think I know the programme you're talking about, Charlotte. I'm not going to mention it, but
Funny
you
that.
know,
Just
I'm glad I get your name right, Charlotte. You know, I'm glad. Sorry, John.
He told me Sam the other week.
Oh, did they?
He did.
I mean, see,
That's an age
you
thing.
and Sam have a lot in common. You're both women, and you both have heads.
Well, that's a start.
It is, isn't it?
That's why I get mixed up. It's just went south. The live is just went south. As I said before you came on, Liam got it right that time, didn't I?
It's on the screen. How could you get it wrong?
No idea. No idea. But as you see, we are a very laid back channel, but I mean, we do take what we do, you know, seriously, and always all our guests, we do respect their views. But to see, I mean, that programme you're talking about, I've got a rough idea what it is. They were in a basement in one place. And I don't know if you remember that scene, there was meant to be about 9 witches on their way over.
Oh.
I don't know if they were getting a bus or whatever. You know. But
Taxi.
what did you make of that scene? I thought it was, you know, I don't think much of it.
Well, you know my views on the whole aspect of people calling these women and men witches in the first place. You know, because a lot of them were misunderstood. That's not to say some of them may have been witches, but I do feel that they were all given a very unfair, you know, people were given an unfair view of them. Well, I'm not allowed to swear, am I? But no, I'll just say no. That is my view on that. Is no. It was just rubbish. I will say that word. Yeah, it was not the case. It was not the case, and I do feel that I feel sorry for the medium that was there, because he got pushed a lot to do certain things during the show, you know, and he was a nice gent, but that was just no, you know, and that's the only way I can put it without really getting angry about it, because it was fake.
Yeah,
it was fake.
It misrepresents the spirits as well, that were obviously they're people. They were people in their own right. They've got their own histories. They've got their own lives, etc. And to misrepresent them like that is basically failing them in a way, because you're not getting the story.
Because if you look at the majority of these people, were they ever actually caught doing a spell?
Probably not. Could be their hair colour, freckles on their face.
Yeah.
Left-handed.
I'm a witch, apparently. But this is the thing, you know, and it's like, obviously nowadays we have forensics and stuff, don't we? You know, and I just think no, a lot of it, and having grown up there, you know, but there is paranormal activity up there. There is, because people have died on the land. There are witches buried up there, or so-called, let's say, witches like that. You know, and obviously you've got Alice Nutter, who, you know, people don't believe she is where she is. I don't certainly believe she's in that where she's supposed to be. You know, so there's lots and lots to it. But I do also think that people should have that respect that these were, like you just said, they were human beings. You know, and these people, some of them were just trying to make a bit of money as well, you know, to live. You know, and it's so sad, I think, in a lot of it. But just like I said, having grown up there, yes, I did experience some not so nice energies up there. Yes, some of them were female. But I actually love it up there, and I felt very at home. Oh, now, Ronald.
So do you think, from the likes of Pendle, Charlotte and Liam, that a lot of it could be residual and it's like a playback?
Oh, 100%. You're going to get that in any... Sorry, Liam, go on, I'll let you talk.
No, you carry on. I'm agreeing with you.
Get that because there's hundreds and hundreds of years of history. So in any area, you're going to get residuals, you know, and obviously they will just do what they were doing at that time, you know. And
essentially there was a gross miscarriage of justice. What were the proven ways of detecting a witch?
Your torture.
Tie them up and dunk them in water, and if they survive, burn them because they're a witch. Well, you can win, can you? How can you?
You can't, really, can you? You can't. So do you think that maybe grounds the spirits? Do you think that grounds the spirits to that particular area because of the torture and things that they've experienced?
Absolutely. I think the emotion, the like I say, the gross miscarriage of justice that took place, and the fact that there would be crowds of people jeering and you know, people that they were friends with. I mean, it wasn't like everybody hates me. I'm going to be burned at the stake. It's more a case of these are their friends, their family. Yeah. And they stood by and said nothing because they were all so brainwashed into believing that they are bad. It's ridiculous. It really upsets me that whole period took place. It really does.
And I think like one of them where obviously there was a child accuser that winds me to the hilt, you know. And I just think, hold on a minute. But then when you look back, they were a bit backward anyway, weren't they, at that time? You know, they really were. It was too. What's the word? I'm trying to think of a word. Inhumane. It was so inhumane. It really was.
Coerced in a way.
Yeah. But if you think about, you know, when they're being burnt, hung in the tree, the Lancaster hung in the trees, you know, being burnt at the stake, they're attaching them to natural elements here. And where that natural element falls, they're going to stay, you know, they're going to stay there because it was such a negative force. And I have actually released some up on Pendle, and it wasn't there that they passed, it was elsewhere, but they've been pulled to that area. Wow. So I have released 4 from there, you know, and it's so sad. It's so sad, and it just angers me with, you know, I mean, to this day, our justice system is rubbish, you know. But back then, they were just. I honestly think
they didn't have a chance.
No. Misunderstood, weren't they? They didn't have a chance to defend themselves. It was judge and jury there and then.
Oh, 100%.
It was. Liam, I'd be really interested to see how you react at Pendle with being an empath.
Yeah, I can imagine that whole anger and emotion coming through again, because it's you know, it just sitting here, it angers me that we were that backward that we allowed it to happen and people just stood and watched it. I think I was going to say, do you not think that we're almost coming back into a period of that kind of belief now? Charlotte and I were talking about demons and the belief of demons, and one of the voices on the audio that we got immediately, because it was a low growl, immediately said, "Oh, that's a demon's voice." How do you know it's a demon's voice? What tells you it's a demon's voice? Because Hollywood told you that's what a demon's voice sounds like. That's it. And when I talked about Ouija board, and everybody was, "Oh no, we're not doing a Ouija board."
I know.
A Ouija is a child's toy from the 60s.
You can buy it in a shop.
It's only because of The Exorcist that it now is this massive thing. It's, oh, if I do that, I'm going to let everything through. It's a child's toy. They were selling
it. Misrepresentation again. It's like what we were saying there. It's misinterpreted. If it's used correctly and by the right people, then yes, it's all right. But then if you go on and you don't know what you're doing, that's when your trouble can start. It's common sense. Or you would think so anyway.
I think the television is telling people and brainwashing people. All these films and exorcisms and things. I was talking about exorcisms earlier with a friend, and I said, when was the last exorcism that you've heard of? I said, we don't do it now, and the reason we don't do it now, for me, and it's only my opinion, but the reason we don't do it now is because we recognise multiple personality disorder.
Exactly.
Where somebody can speak in 4 different voices from their own body because they have a multiple personality disorder. So we now treat it with medication rather than get a priest in and exercise them. Hollywood is, yes. Yeah, it is.
Like, I work with people that have like personality disorders and things like that, and it's true what you're saying. There's one lady in particular that I used to look after years ago. She's passed now, God bless her. But she could, like 4 or 5 different personalities that used to come out one after the other, depending on what she'd seen on the TV, depending on what she was hearing on the radio, her surroundings. It's amazing.
You imagine one of these women, one of these men, women, one of these people at Pendle Hill, that if they had that multiple personality disorder, that would be it. Oh, she's speaking in tongues. That's it.
The whole thing of Pendle sits quite sourly with me because I am a white witch, but it's just something I haven't practiced. I don't practice. It's in my bloodline, and I just look at it and I think, hold on a minute, if I was back then, would that have happened to me? And I just
you never know.
Well, exactly, and I just think these poor women it's just terrible. It is.
Even midwives were deemed as witches. It was crazy.
I know.
It was tragic as well. Another big thing is back then, as you just said, it was judge and jury, and that was it. They had no defence because nobody dared go up against. It was seen as going up against the king if you were going to defend a witch, and nobody dared do it. So they were basically just left to the judge, at the end of the day, and maybe so I say Elizabeth Demdike, she was 85. And I think it was said that she would stand and talk, to herself. Basically,
probably senile.
I do that quite often, talking.
I do that all the time. Me too.
I'm a woman though.
But at that age, it's probably some sort of Alzheimer's or dementia, or she's slightly senile with the age that the person is.
Exactly. I mean, take it right back to the beginning with John Law. It turned out it was a stroke that he had. But back then, he'd been cursed. Which obviously back then they didn't know, well, he's had a stroke. But, since then, research has shown it was an actual stroke the guy suffered.
Yeah.
And that's all kicked off. But, I mean, it's just my opinion. Obviously, the Pendle witch trial started off as a witch hunt. But I think as the trials went on, it became more for personal gain, as in Roger Knowles with Alice Nutter. With the land dispute, and he saw this as a way of getting rid of maybe Alice Nutter and what have you. And so a lot, and I think it happened a lot of witch trials all over the UK. Some people saw it as a way of impressing the king, claiming.
A lot of it was corruption. A lot of it was money and corruption. That's what it was. And like you say, with the king as well, pressing the king, and it irritates me because I just feel for these people that lost their lives because of it.
Innocent people as well.
But it seems to be, and I don't mean any disrespect to the other victims of the witch trials, you know, and thousands of people lost their lives, but Pendle seems to be the one that attracts most attention. You know, over the years. I know it is, I mean, I'm from Glasgow, but I've had a fascination with Pendle for years and years. And I can't wait to finally go. It's like a kind of dream come true for me. That might sound bad. I don't mean it disrespectful. You know, I mean it with respect. It is a dream come true to finally go and see the place where it all happened and investigate and what have you. But it just seems to have this kind of pull with people, even not just the UK, but worldwide. I mean, there's people come from all over the world. You know,
yeah, they do. So I think they still. Well, I don't know if they still do it now, but every Halloween you used to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people come in. Literally, obviously, we used to walk up from the village, and it was for Halloween, and you know, it was all about the witches, and it was like it was a fun night, you know, because obviously I was a lot younger then, but every time I went up. Every single time, even as I started to drive, you know, going over, I always got that feeling of sickness. Every single time I went over that road. It's called Clitheroe Road, the road that goes over the hill from Sabden. And because that's the one that goes over to Clitheroe. And you know, as soon as you get up to the actual apex of that road where the Wellsprings is and the ski slope was, I don't know if it still is, I think it is, but probably disused now. That area for me was just phenomenally sad and just you know. So, and we used to go up there for meals and stuff. It used to be a pub. It's now like a restaurant thing. You know, and I used to love going in the pub and because there was information on the walls and stuff, you know, and it was lovely doing that. But yeah, it was very sad going up there.
Do you think it's become quite commercialised due to this? Do you think it's like there's like people are like money making from it, etc. now because it holds that much interest?
Yeah, I think people have done in the past, you know, and I actually think that's quite sad. You know,
I think there's maybe two sides to it.
Yeah, you know, sorry, go on, Liam. It's all right.
No, I think that there's two sides of it. That there may be some people exploiting it for financial gain, but I think the other side would be let's make sure we never forget.
Yeah.
That there's a flip side to both of it, and I think both exist. Both exist.
As somebody, I don't think Carol, Charlotte, when you go though.
No, I was just going to say, in the village of Sabden, they've got two pubs. One's the White Hart and one's actually called the Pendle Witch. So they keep the name alive, the Pendle Witch, with the pub. It's never changed, you know, and they're just country pubs. But like Liam said, it is nice to keep their memory alive, you know, and that's why I want to go there, because I want to give them a bit of justice.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, yeah.
I know there's organisations, I'm not going to name them, they're doing sort of good work. They're trying to get all the victims of the witch trials in Scotland pardoned. Do you think that will ever happen with the Pendle witches? Do you think anybody will ever maybe take up their case? I know it's 400 or 500 years ago, but as I say, this organisation in Scotland, we had them on a couple of months ago, they're trying to get them pardoned. Do you think that will ever happen with Pendle?
I hope so. I do hope so. I think it needs to take, because obviously there is cost in you know, having the pardons done with the courts, and you know, but I really do feel that somebody should take that up, and it'd have to be a group of people that do it. Why it's not been done, I don't know, but I feel very strongly that they deserve those pardons.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right. Shelley's saying that somebody tried back in the 90s, but it was a few times. Shelley, I don't know, thinking back in the 90s.
Was that was it no Jeffrey Archer or somebody like that had tried to? I think it was somebody like along the sort of lines that I'd tried to have some like repentance for them, but I don't think it had worked. I don't think it was like
I think
it
maybe
wasn't agreed on.
I think our justice, not our justice system, but I think our legal system, our system of law, is so stuck in its ways.
Ancient.
I think
Ancient is the word you're looking for.
Yes, archaic almost. Yeah, it is. It's and because of the way it works, because of the not necessarily the class system, but because of the legacy system. I think it will take years and years and years to actually get people to acknowledge logic.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me so angry though, because if you look at the actual evidence, what evidence was there?
There isn't any. There isn't any.
That's a court of law now. The judge would go away. I'm not seeing this case because there's no evidence.
They're bang you.
Holding somebody with no evidence. That's what makes me angry.
It was based on the
away.
I think that was the only evidence. The one day, a child, and I think because people were so paranoid back then, and also the big influence of the king, it just snowballed. And once it started, that's it. Nobody could stop it, and that's how that's my own personal opinion. Once it started snowballing, nobody could stop it. They were doomed, as you said earlier on, Liam. Once you were accused, the methods of getting a confession, the dunking of water. If you drown, you're innocent. If you survive, you get hung or burned. There was no get out of jail card. You were buggered, basically. And the fear that those people must have lived under. If you upset someone, can you imagine upsetting someone and then they're just, I'm just gonna tell them you're a witch. Mm-hmm. The fear that they must have lived under. The pressure would have been
scared to breathe.
Exactly.
Scared to look the wrong way, just in case.
Waking up, praying that you didn't upset somebody. You didn't follow, even your own. It doesn't necessarily need to be a friend or a neighbour. It could be your own family, as we've seen in the case of the Pendle witch trials. If you fell with your brother or sister, all they had to say, my brother's a witch, or my sister's a, and that was it. Lights out. You know what I mean? But Charlotte, I know you're kind of limited for your time, though, which is totally fine. So before we wrap it up, I'm going to drop one on Liam. I know it sounds bad.
I'm all right for a little bit. If you want to carry on a little bit, that's fine.
Well, I'm going to get me do this singing out. Liam, I mean, as we said before the live about the singing, now I've managed to get actors from America to sing, and I've managed to get Charlotte to sing. So you said before the live you could sing. Is that right, Charlotte? Is he a bit of a singer?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm an actor, I'm not a singer.
As he clears his throat.
I'm a fair man. I know how it feels to be put on the spot. So what I'm prepared to do is let you choose your own song. Fair enough.
Oh,
that's so nice.
I know. What can I say?
Right. Yeah, a little bit of heads up.
You do know he's going to kill me afterwards. He's going to message me and go, "You there."
So you just okay? What's the process then? Are you going to play some music?
No, just sing.
I can whistle.
Give a little whistle.
I have no idea what to sing.
Anything. Whether it be a nursery rhyme, whether it be happy birthday, anything.
Well, to be fair, it was my daughter's birthday on Friday when we were at the theatre, and she came along and she was a runner. It was her 17th birthday, and she was over the moon. She was blown away. But I haven't actually sung a happy birthday yet, so
There you go.
Ah.
Oh, there you go
Amazing.
then.
How's that? Does that work for you?
That'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Let's just go for that then, shall we?
We're all ears.
Oh, great. That's great. Thanks. And this is live too. Fantastic. Okay.
Very welcome.
You gonna count me in?
We don't expect any thanks or gratitude. You're very welcome. Carry on.
All right. I will wish my daughter happy birthday. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Neve. Happy birthday to you.
Hey!
Hey,
Well done.
Jeez.
I just thought I'd try and get you to sing. You know.
You did all right there,
Because-
Liam, bless you.
He did. Could you do better, Charlotte?
What, with happy birthday?
Any song since you're back to full
Charlotte's
health?
a great singer.
Oh, here we go. I knew you were going to do this to me. What do you want me to say? I can sing you a song if you want me to, really, but it depends what song. Sam, pick a song. Hopefully I'll know it.
Anything off the top of your head?
What was I singing today?
Cheers, Ron.
I was waiting for that to say something to me then. All right, okay. I'm trying to say, all the love in the world can't take me away from you. Our love is stronger. Well, that'll do.
Well,
Brilliant.
Hey?
that'll do, lovely love. That'll do nicely. That's what I said again.
When you say nothing at all, I knew that was going to
Hold on, is that code? Was that a euphemism? Is he suggesting something there?
No.
Thank-
No. The song.
Yeah, well, okay.
Thank you for that, folks. I think it kind of lightens the mood, lets people see that we are human, that we're not robots. There's a wee thing from Shelley for you.
Oh, bless you. Thanks, Shelley.
Thank you.
She's a big sook, and she's a big sook.
Just wait till
I mean-
Pendle will have a proper sing song.
Yeah, no, I'll be up for that. Several beers.
She'll be sat in the car
There you
going, my boy lollipop, do-do-do-do. I'm going to have a singing all sorts.
Well, I'll tell you this, Charlotte and Liam, we were out on Saturday doing a wee investigation in Kilwinning, an abbey in Kilwinning, and after it, it was a really, really hot day. And in fact, I'll send you the photograph, Charlotte. Sam got into her car and she had one of the...
I've seen it. I know why she's hiding. She's going like this.
With a hat on. But there was a video. And thank God it didn't work.
She had the hat on, the windows down, and she was pumping up the tunes, shall we say. You know what these youngins are like, pumping up the tunes, get the music, and she was giving it, whoop, all the rest of it.
You know, big
And I
nuts in
thought
the car.
So I was standing like that, talking to her, but I thought I'd pressed record, but I never. So I never get a video. I mean, but, I was quite
Collateral
glad.
damage. Have you seen that video of haunted hunts in the back of the car at Pendle when they're dancing to the dance music? Danny and Charlie, they're dancing to the music in the back of their car. Well, me and Shelley were doing this in the front of my car, and it was like full blown raving.
Wait, what does it sound like? Pretty green eyes.
It was actually it was along the lines of I am a rave. It was like I am a raver stuff. So like ultra beat and stuff like that.
I forgot, Charlotte, I'd already sent you the photographs. I just checked it. How did she see the
Yeah, you
photograph?
sent me.
I forgot I didn't entertain them. Sorry, Sam.
Sam, just very quickly, you know they keep singing it to me. The song "Forever Young."
Young,
Does that have a meaning to you?
Yeah.
Thought so.
Yeah.
I just keep being given it in my ear.
Yep. Yep. It's a tune.
I know, I love that song.
So that's got meaning to you, Sam.
Yeah. Because I'm forever young.
Right, okay.
She wants to be forever young. Don't we all?
Well, I already am, you know. When I get a birthday my year, I get back in years, not I get back. I'm 37 next month. Well, 37. I'm really,
I think I might
what
stop
next
doing
month?
37.
Life.
Charlotte.
Plus VAT.
I don't know.
That's VAT. I
Brilliant.
love that one.
I'm still a young at heart, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? But I'm
Young and hard.
really.
That's another tune.
Don't sing.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
sing.
How?
Don't sing.
I'm a good singer.
I love that song.
Also-
Yes. We're gonna have fun at Pendle.
Yes, we are. Add some wine and we'll have a blast.
You used to
Just looking at Scott's
carry on
face.
singing that, you know. Missy's saying, I could be your mum, Scott. You could be, because I'm only 37. Next birthday. I mean,
I was 40 last year, and I'm gonna start going backwards. I think instead of
But Shelley's saying it means me and her have been singing that.
I'm dreading.
Oh,
Dreading hitting 40. Tell you, Charlotte, I am dreading the big 4-0. I'm telling you. I'm dreading it.
oh
When it
no,
comes-
poor you.
But
Sorry, did my face do that?
that's scary, isn't it? That's actually quite scary, that face. Imagine waking her up to that. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
Hey, you.
But I'm really looking forward to Pendle. I think it's going to be good. There's going to be quite a crowd of us, actually, because we're all coming down. You know, both of you are going. Karen Perkins is coming over. Coming up, and Thomas Broad as well is coming up to meet us, and possibly Danny Moss as well. So it's going to be a bus, a tour bus. We're going to need.
Wait. We'll be. We'll have to sing the wheels on the bus. We're not singing it now.
Charlotte, that is scary. That was just going through my head. Even he said there's going to be a bus. The wheels on the bus literally just went through my head.
That's
The
true,
wheels
John.
is-
That's very
Totally
I like
true.
John's
Yeah, absolutely.
comment there. That is so
That's
true.
true.
You don't need it.
No.
We make
No,
it.
you exactly, but you don't need. You know, that's a good thing with the paranormal as well. The amount of people that genuine people that you meet, you know, and I mean, obviously, Sarah and I have just been going about a year, just under a year with this, and the amount of people that we've met, you know, will be the back of the bus they can't sign. Hey, Laura.
We used to
amount of
sing at the
genuine-
school. Sorry, Scott. We used to sing at the school on the school bus. The back of the bus is in a half parliament.
Yeah, he looks really impressed with that.
The back of the bus is in a half parliament. Whatever the hell that meant. That's what we used to say.
I don't have any words. I don't have any words. I don't have any words.
That's what I'm laughing at his face.
For once, I'm stuck for words. I'm stuck for
That's
words.
a first.
I got now to say. Before practicing, by the time we get to Pendo, I blend right in. You know, they'll think that I'm a native there. They're not able to tell I'm Scottish. But no, the amount of genuine people that you meet, and you can sit and you can be serious and you can have a laugh at the same time and combine, you know, all into one. And there's no backstabbing, there's no fakery, you know.
That's the
nobody's-
best kind of thing.
I nobody's trying to score points on any, you know, the other one or anything. You just want to do the same thing, chill out, be friends, and enjoy yourself basically, and also, you know, do the serious side as well, without singing. Sam.
That's
Oh,
boring.
no, we will have some singing. Actually, on that subject, it's so important on Investigate, and Liam knows we do often sing because it raises the vibration. So it helps for it to actually come in sometimes.
No.
Liam, we do, don't we, Liam? It's honestly, we've just done a house clearance with William, and we put some music on, didn't we? You know, and that was an amazing investigation as well. We'll save that for another time.
We'll save that for the next one. Save that for the next.
Yep.
So we'll wind it up there for tonight, folks. Big thanks to Charlotte and Liam for coming in. Sorry that I called you John. Sorry, John, I got your name mixed up as well, buddy. You know,
An age
freaked
thing,
John
Liam,
out.
you'll get used to it.
If John thought he was going live and he was scared.
I pure panicking.
it's,
Like being flung into the deep end, eh?
That was good.
Oh,
Very good.
he's on the rope tomorrow night. He's up next to John. If you're watching, you're on the rope tomorrow night, sunshine.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Be afraid, because I don't know Sam will be up, but be afraid anyway, just in case
I'm
she
on
is.
all week.
I was going to keep, you know, well, just 2 seconds, folks, just 2 seconds.
Thank you.
So anyway,
That's hilarious.
thanks very much for coming in, folks. We'll be back tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. And we'll be meeting Charlotte, and I was going to say Charlotte and Underwood. Unbelievable. Charlotte.
Oh Jesus! Just call me the singing medium if you can't remember my name.
That's a good name. The singing tonight, they have the singing mediums.
Tonight, Matthew.
I'm a singing medium. No, I mean, so we're back tomorrow night, folks, at 9 o'clock, and we hope to see you then. So stay safe, and we hope you enjoyed our wee giggle and our 2 singing mediums at the bottom here. Always a pleasure, guys. Take
Nice
care
to
for
meet
now.
you, Liam.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.